In today's video, in celebration of Tesla entering the S&P 500 come this Monday, I'm going to reveal my entire active position in Tesla right now in my portfolio. And make sure to stay until the end to learn about my long-term perspective and strategy on how to invest in Tesla. A few months ago, I made a video talking about if I had invested the money I used to buy my Tesla Model 3 into Tesla stock instead, how much I would have. And needless to say, if you fast forwarded to today, which is nearing Christmas, end of December, the amount of Tesla stock I would have had and the value of the stock would have been much, much more than what I said before. But in today's video, I want to share in more detail my active position in Tesla, when I bought in, and when I'm looking at this right now, it's like, man, I should have been buying a lot more Tesla looking back. But of course, that's always 20/20 hindsight. So taking a look at my Robinhood account, this is Tesla right here. And this is looking at Tesla over a 5-year period. And if you're lucky enough to have invested way earlier on, over those 5 years, Tesla has grown over 1,400%, meaning that if whatever money you had invested 5 years ago, you can multiply that by 14 times, and that's how much you would have. Right before S&P entry on Monday, Tesla's closing at $677. And this is like wild, right? If you just go back to the 1 year, Tesla started 2020 at roughly, $80, $90. And this is before the split. But this isn't another video about Tesla stock over the years. This is a video about my choices and my tactics around Tesla stock. So let's get into it. So let's go down and look at my history here. And let me walk you through each point I bought in. And even I found this surprising about my own behaviors and habits. So let's look at the very bottom. Let's look at the very first stock I bought in Tesla. And this was back in September 26, 2017. When you look at this, I bought 2 shares at $346. This was over 3 years ago. And fun fact, this was right around the time that I started using Robinhood for the first time and actively buying a lot of stocks. And having Tesla as my first active stock that I was looking at, whether or not that's a good idea, I think some might say yes, some might say you're crazy, but I'll let you guys decide. And back in 2017, I was quite a bit more conservative than I am now, so I wasn't buying too much. So this is 2 shares of Tesla. A few weeks later in October of that year, I bought another 5 shares, and I actually didn't buy any more Tesla for another 6 months after that. And the biggest reason why I invested in Tesla back then was because I had pre-ordered a Model 3. So obviously I believed in the product, I believed in the company. But what's really interesting when I look at my buy history is that I sat out this entire long roller coaster that started in the end of 2019 and sort of still going on today, right? When Tesla stock was like up and down, it crossed 900 at one point and it crashed a lot, which I talked about in a previous video. But now Tesla stock is at its all-time high. So when was my next purchase of Tesla? Surprising to myself, this actually wasn't until October of 2020, which is this year. And funnily enough, the actual reason for me purchasing this amount of Tesla stock on this day was 2 reasons. First, it was my birthday that day, so this was a gift to myself. But second, this was when I started seeing some tweets about the early beta of full self-driving. And for those of you who don't know, full self-driving is the next big promise and the next big milestone for Tesla cars. And effectively makes your car autopilot the entire time in streets, point-to-point driving. It really changes the game for driving. So I bought almost $5,000 worth of Tesla stock that day at roughly $442 a share. And when I think about why I stayed off this roller coaster for so long during this time, even when I was talking to friends who were aggressively investing and I was advising them to invest during this time, I stayed off the roller coaster for whatever reason or not. Within any psychology dealing with money, it's sometimes hard for your brain to accept that you have to buy something at a higher price or even sometimes a much higher price than when you bought that thing before in the past. So in this case, my brain had understood that I was able to purchase Tesla at a very affordable price, back in 2017 and 2018. And my brain just couldn't come to terms with purchasing Tesla at such a high price in 2020, even though I knew that this was a long-term investment. So to my own detriment, I stayed off the roller coaster, but on my birthday of this year, I decided to hop back in. And starting in December of this year, when I knew this was like the final runway towards the S&P 500 entry, I decided to be a little bit more active and average into my Tesla investment. And what averaging in means is that since you can't fully predict the price of a stock going up or down, you sort of scatter your purchases over time to average into the overall cost. So this was my December history. You know, I bought one on December 1st, then December 7th, then December 9th, another one. And I was sort of monitoring the price of Tesla over the month, and you can sort of see it sort of jumped up and down, where I would buy a Tesla for almost $640 on December 7th, and then 4 days later, it dropped to $603. And my final 3 buys, and this is a little bit silly, but for the sake of making this video, I was at 66 shares of Tesla, but I wanted to buy 3 more shares to get to an even number, and the even number being 69, just for you, Elon. And even within that final day, the price fluctuation was pretty crazy, right? If you look at the 3 that I bought throughout the day, it's $666, then $651, and then $639. It was even wilder than that, right? So if I look back at what that stock was going throughout the day, like, check this out. The stock was sort of floating at like 670s. And during lunch, right before the day was about to close, like it just totally crashed to like 636. And this is when I bought in, you know, my final share before the end of the day. And now we sit at 677. So that's my entire active position of Tesla. 69 shares at over $46,000 of value. Now, some of you might be thinking that my position in Tesla is small. Some of you might be thinking that's really big. But remember, everyone's portfolio is vastly different. So let me give you some of my perspective on what I think about the long-term outlook of Tesla. The first one, being a Tesla owner, this is a product that I think changed my life, like my everyday life. And that's a huge important part of this. An analogy that I like to make is that think about Tesla the same way as people adopting smartphones for the first time. And when I think about that, think about, you know, your Nokia 6190, your Motorola Razr, even your Blackberries in the mid-2000s. Those were all great phones and like technological advancements of their own. And then the iPhone came out. The iPhone totally changed the game. I think, and I claim, that the Tesla is the first big mass market electric vehicle that changes the game for the automobile industry. My second bit of perspective is that Tesla is more than just another car maker. It is a technology company that has the brand awareness and brand appeal and brand fandom that products like Apple does. And where I live, I've started to see Tesla Model 3s pretty much everywhere, right? Which means the adoption curve is accelerating. And looking forward to the next few years, let's say you're in the market for a mid-level 4-door sedan or even a high-end SUV. What reasons would you have to not seriously consider purchasing a Tesla? And when you stretch Tesla beyond its label of a car company into a tech company, namely an energy alternative tech company, they're going to be branching out into solar, into batteries, and that growth is going to be insane to see. So if you're thinking about investing in Tesla, think about the long-term game. Think about where they are now and think about where they will be. And I fully believe that Tesla is really early on and the game is trying to play for the future. And the third perspective I want to share with you today is not necessarily only on investing in Tesla, but investing in general. When you boil down the essence of what investing is, you think about putting your money in buying companies that are undervalued from where you believe they will be in the future. So let's look at Tesla. Tesla's mission is to get green cars and electric vehicles into the hands of as many people in the world as possible. And they're doing that. They're making their cars more efficiently, more effectively with better technology, and they're making them cheaper and cheaper over time. And when you think about Tesla beyond the car itself and all the technologies supporting the car, Tesla is gonna grow and scale in ways that don't even exist today. So my viewpoint looking forward on Tesla is that Elon and the company, they're so early on the mission that they're setting out to do. So even when I look at what feels like a really high entry point for buying Tesla stock, I fully believe that Tesla stock will be valued much, much higher in the future, which is what investing really is. So the question I leave to you is, do you believe in Tesla's future and the products they're making? And what do you think is going to happen to the stock once it enters the S&P on Monday? Let me know what your Tesla investment strategy is in the comments. Hey, thanks for staying to the end. If you want to support this channel, please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more content like this, definitely consider subscribing. And if you want to get started in investing, check out my links below. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $100, you'll get some free stocks. I'll get some free stocks. We'll both have a good time. And as always, thanks for watching. My name is Min. I'll see you next time.